Good afternoon, traders. My name is Siklenkema from QuickTrade. Welcome to our technical analysis webinar. I think you guys can hear me. If you have any difficulties hearing me, please let me know. If you hear me, please type me that message and let me know that you can hear me. Thank you. Hi, good day, Pietro. Welcome back. Hi, Lindy Way. Hi, Richard, Gert, and Lowens. Okay, guys. Is there anything specific that you want us to have a look at? First, before we carry on, is there any challenge that you made maybe over the weekend when you were doing your analysis? Is there anything? Hi, Gert. Okay, I'm waiting for Pietro with his message there. Okay. Oh, okay. Pietro, your question is how does one work out or determine entry point after having worked out the stop loss and TP? Okay, once you've worked out your stop loss and TP, you need to look at your if it's a long trade. Has the stock bounced off its support? Has it closed above the 10-day SMA? If you've bounced off your support and you're trading above the 10-day SMA on the daily, you can actually go in there and take a long. Another thing, you must check what your weekly is saying. Is your weekly also saying buy? If your weekly is saying buy, then you jump in and take the trade. Check your monthly also. If your monthly is confirming, go in and take the trade. If it's a sell, as your stock or your instrument bounced off its resistance and failed to break above, and after that you look out for a close below the simple moving average on a daily closing basis. If at the end of the trading session your close was below the 10 SMA, then you can jump in and take a short on the trade, provided your weekly time frame is also suggesting that you go short, and the monthly. If all of them are saying one thing, are aligned, then you can go in and take a shot there. That's how you do it, basically. That's how you do it. I don't know if that's clear enough, Pietro. Okay, Pietro, I will do that. Okay, let's look at yeah, the South African rand against the US dollar. We said that the rand was a short at 1340. One was supposed to go in and start buying the US dollars and sell the rand. Okay, clearly that was a blind entry. Let's check our monthly time frame, see what it's saying. Our monthly time frame is saying that the rand is a short. Let's check the weekly. Weekly time frame also suggesting that the rand is still a short. The issue is we don't know whether that 1340 is the right entry level to go in and take a short on the rand, buying the US dollar there. The price may still come down to 1315 before shooting higher, but I believe that maybe it's going to turn around the 1337, 1340 where it's currently trading. Now let's have a look at the daily time frame. The daily time frame, if you look at the simple moving average, the simple moving average is at the top. It's at 1364, and our price currently is at 1339. Although I believe that this is an entry zone, I think that it's important that if you are new in trading, you wait for your trading signals maybe to line up first before you do anything. But I mean, if you want to be a little bit on the aggressive side, you can actually go in and take a trade on buying the US dollar and selling the rand at 1340 or 1339. This is actually the right level to go in and do that. But there's one condition that we need to be on a lookout for. This thick black line around 1339. 946. That thick black line there, we need to close above it today for the market to start turning and looking positive. So if we get a bounce of this 1339 and we get an hourly close above it, okay, let me just get the hourly time frame. Ooh, that's bigger. Okay, okay, you get an hourly close above 1339. You get an hourly close above 1339. By an hourly close above 1339, I mean something like this. Sure, it's weakening. It's strengthening. The rand is strengthening there. I'm talking about this on the 25th of June at 2 o'clock. We had a close above the simple moving average. I mean on the hourly closing. On the hourly time frame, and the market started railing, or the US dollar started railing against the US dollar. But I mean, if you check this one, currently we've had a cross below the moving average on the second hour of our trading, the local trading session at between 11 and 12. We closed below the black horizontal line there, and the market is still trading below. So for now, I wouldn't really just jump in and take a long. I would wait maybe for a close above our simple moving average here, just above our 1339, 1340, and I would go in and take a long. But I believe that we're still likely to see this market bouncing off this area here, because if you look at the hourly time frame, you can draw another line here. This is our support there. This is our support. I'll make it a small one. I'm not going to highlight it. I'm going to make it a small one. If we close above at 1, if at 1 we close above 1336, there's a good chance that buyers are going to come in and start pushing the US dollar higher against the rand. But I mean, no one knows for sure. Let's just check the RSI to confirm if there's any divergence there. If there is one, then we can go in and take the trade even before we get the close above that SMA. Okay, let's do this. That's our moving average there. Sorry, the SMA. Okay. We have some negative divergence there. Negative divergence. Okay, negative divergence. Okay, yeah, this is the hourly time frame, guys. You see, this market has been dropping. It has been dropping, but if you look at your RSI is going flat here. It's flat. If you check the bottom part, this indicator is flat. Check this point here to that one. This point is higher. Check this one here. This point is lower than that point over there. This point here is lower than that point around 1352, and this point is higher than this point here around 1336, 1339. It's higher, The market is going flat. The market is not really supposed to be going flat here. The market is supposed to be, sorry, the RSI is supposed to be, RSI is going flat. It's gone flat since the 5th of July, and it is still flat. I believe that very soon we're going to get a confirmation signal here. We're going to get a confirmation signal in the form of a bullish reversal, and you're going to see the price going back up to 1350 from 1350, 1363. But I mean, there is no guarantee that the market is going to do that. But we have this bullish divergence here at the bottom, where you see your RSI flattening out, while the price is still making its lower lows. So for that reason, I think that we're going to see the rand weakening from these levels going forward. Uh, I'll try and give you the range this time instead of just giving you a fixed level. I'll give you 1336 and 1340. 1336 and 1340. In my view, this is a buy zone. I have my confirmation from the RSI. That's a good confirmation. I think from these levels, we are likely to see the rand really bouncing and moving up very nicely. So this is one of the examples that I'm giving you, Pietro, but we haven't really closed above 1340. I'd really like to get my confirmation by a close, hourly close above 1340 and a close above the simple moving average. After that, you can just go in without any issues. This is actually a very good trade in my view. I think the rand should start weakening from these levels if everything else doesn't change according to the technical picture that I have in front of me. Okay. Is there anyone who doesn't understand exactly how the setup came about? If there's anyone, please let me know so that maybe I can go and explain to you what I think is going on here on the rand against the US dollar, or on the US dollar against the rand. Are we all happy with that one? Okay. Let me try and look for something relevant. Okay. Let's look at the US dollar. I hope it won't confuse you, but let's have a look at the US dollar. I think the US dollar is actually going to. Oh, sorry, no, I wanted to say Vodacom. I'm sorry. I wanted to say Vodacom. Let's have a look at the first half of the year where the price closed. First half of the year, the price closed at 122.79 on Vodacom. Closed at 122.79. Which is why we are putting our horizontal line support there around 122.99. It's actually around 122.79, so we can pull this down a little bit more. Okay, so this is our support on this is our support on Vodacom. Okay, let's go to the monthly time frame. The monthly time frame is saying sell, but if you look at the chart structure, chart structure suggests that we've hit our bottom for now. We don't know how strong the support is going to be, but at the moment it seems like it's good support. And last week, let's check what happened last week. Last week on the weekly time frame, we bounced off that area. We had a positive bounce, and the market seems to be rising. And the area that we are targeting 140. The only thing that I'm not happy about is the fact that we are trading below the simple moving average. Obviously, the simple moving average is a lagging indicator. Simple moving average is a lagging indicator. So we are likely to see this market maybe seesawing a bit before hitting our profit target. I do not really think that the overall trend on Vodacom has changed. It's going to depend on the economic climate going forward. If things really start improving and they report good numbers, there's a good chance that we could see maybe Vodacom shooting up and going beyond 150, maybe towards 165. But for now, we're just aiming for that 140 level. Let me do the hourly, sorry, the daily time frame. Daily time frame, Pietro, we hit this support here around 122. The market went below this area. We waited. We did not do anything. But when the market on the 4th closed above the simple moving average, closed above this horizontal line that we have here, the close there was 126. Close was 126. And the market started rising. On the 5th, it went up. On Friday, it didn't actually do much. It went down a bit, and today it's shot up. It looks like we're going to have a good day on this stock. But I mean, it's still early days. We want to see what happens at the end of business. And if you are drawing a declining trend line, you'll see that we've broken out of that declining trend line. But it's a short-term one. It's not a long-term one. You must be very careful when looking at this one. You see, from well, the market was dropping from the 28th of May until the end of, well, I mean, was it the end? Yeah, until the end of June, and now we are breaking out. It looks like this market is now starting to pick up, rising towards that 140 area. So this is another example that you can use when determining the buy levels. But I mean, the problem with this one is for those that are a little bit aggressive, because I mean, all our signals are not lining up yet, or are not lined up yet. If you check your monthly saying sell, your weekly saying sell, only your daily and your horizontal support here are suggesting that maybe one can actually go in and take a long. So that's the main reason why we went in to buy this one. And so far, it looks like it's doing well. On a weekly closing basis, I will show you what we need to look at. Okay. Weekly closing. Okay, on a weekly closing basis, last week we had a bounce, like I said earlier, a bounce of this horizontal line support, and now we've just broken out. I think the next level we're going to have a problem or an issue with is around 134.70. If we don't get stopped, or maybe get some resistance around this area here, I'll mark it now. This area here around 134.59, that's where I think we may have some issues with Vodacom. The next area after that, I'm looking at the next area after that, I'm looking at 140, 140. That is very close to our simple moving average there. If we bounce off that 140, that simple moving average there, there's a good chance that this market will come back down to 122, 120 once again. But for now, it's just a minor bounce that we are having on this one. There's a good chance that sellers are going to come back in and push this price a little bit lower. We're just going to go there to test that that resistance at the top there at 140. From there, sellers are going to come back and sell it back to 122 to test how strong this 122 is as support. If we get any weekly or even daily break below this support here, I think there's going to be a lot of selling on this stock. I think we may even end up trading between 110 and 105. 110, 105. After that, after 1010, 105, we can expect to see maybe the easing of selling, and buyers may start trickling in again, wanting to initiate some longs on this stock. Okay, Lawrence is saying that I must do ITU. Okay, let's have a look at ITU. I'm done with Vodacom, guys. If you have any questions to ask on Vodacom, please do. Okay. Okay, this is in a 6 month chart. Beginning of the year to the end of June, the market declined 23%, 22.94% to be exact, and our close was 32.65. 32.65 in terms of this time frame is our support. So we are looking at this area of 32.65 as our main support. And when we opened after this bounce down to 32.65, we bounced off that area and we are up 3.67%. We're up 3.67%. The main trend on this one is down, but I think there's a little bit of profit taking from the people that have been short this market from how much? From 42.37. From 42.37. So I think it's profit taking. That is why we are seeing a little bit of a bounce here. So we've got our supports level there already around 32.65, 32.67. Now let's have a look at the monthly time frame. You see, the market has bounced off these levels since the beginning of 2018. If you look at the monthly time frame, each time it comes down, each time it comes down here, buyers come in and push the price up. You see here in March, it did the same. Sellers tried to push it down. Buyers came in, pushed the price up above that area. Again in April, we had the same situation. In May, we had the same situation. Buyers came in and rescued the stock, pushed it up above 32.67. End of June, we closed right on the line, 32.65, 32.67. And month to date, the market has just bounced off that area. Buyers have pushed it up a bit. So this is actually positive in the short term, in my view. Okay, price entry 33.70. Stop loss 33.03. Okay, let's check. TP is 36.09. Okay, on this one, I'm looking at. I'm looking at 35 as my main resistance. On this one, I'm looking at 35 as my main resistance. Okay. Our first target on this one is 35, 35.10. I expect to see a lot of sellers coming in around 35, 35.10. My next level of resistance is at 35.82, maybe to 36, around the 35. Okay, let's have another maybe range here. Thirty-five 82 to 36.40 46, but this one is not really that important to me. Let me highlight it with a different color. I'm looking at 35 82 and 35.10 as my main range, but I mean if we take those levels out, there's a good chance that you're going to go to 36.46, but 36.09, I think it's very difficult. It's going to be very difficult for us to get to 36.49. I think it's going to be very difficult. Let's check the daily time frame. I understand that you must check, we are above the weekly moving average here. We are trading above the weekly moving average. We closed at 33.90 and the moving average at 33.84. So that's positive, but that doesn't mean that I'm behind this trade 100%. I'm looking at 35.10, 35.40. From there, I'm looking at 36.46. Sorry, 35.80. And if we are lucky, there's a good chance that maybe we could push up to 36.46, 36.50. But that will depend entirely on the simple moving average also. You must keep an eye on your daily, on your moving average on the daily time frame. If the price still stays above the simple moving average on the daily time frame, we may get to 35.82, and if it doesn't break, finally maybe 36.46. But not really happy about this trade. But the thing is, every time the price came down towards this 32.65, 32.50 level, sellers came in and pushed the price up since the beginning of the year. So it's been very good in containing the price. But let's check what happens going forward, guys. I cannot really confirm this one. It's a little bit tricky. I think it's better to go for the obvious ones, because I mean this one is a little bit complex. It needs people. This one needs people that have been trading the market for quite some time, I think. Lawrence, are you? I know I cannot I don't know how to ask my question. Do you understand what I've been trying to explain here? This one doesn't have an easy answer. It's very difficult. We may not get to 36.09. We may not get to 36.09. We need to look at the rand. I mean, as well. It's a little bit complicated. Because if we get to if the rand starts weakening, I think there's a good chance that maybe we may hit our target, because I mean this is a rand hedge stock. Most of their investments they're in Europe, and I think mostly in the UK. Mostly in the UK. Mostly in the UK. So I think we may see a bit of an uptick, but I'm not really happy about it. Do you have another stock that you are looking at, guys, that you want us to have a look at? Richard would like us to have at the Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD. You look at you look at the business's portfolio. You look at the investments that they have as a business. If the company has more investments, let's say in the UK, in China, in Europe, maybe in the US as well, when the rand starts weakening, it means that their earnings are going to improve because of the exchange rate. So you look at all those things. So when the rand weakens, if the bulk of the investments are offshore, that makes them very attractive because investors know that the exchange rate is going to weaken, and when it weakens, it will increase their earning potential or their earnings when they when they convert those earnings into rands. That's how it works basically. It's like people who are working in the UK and in the US. When the rand weakens, it means more money for them when they come back home to South Africa. So same with these companies. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Lindy. Yeah, you can start checking their investments to understand where the bulk of their investments are. Yes, you can do that. Yes, you must do. Okay. We have 1.18 as our main resistance on the euro. 1.18 is our main resistance on the euro, and we have 1.18500 as our next area of resistance. So we have a range there. I'm looking at 1.1800 and 1.18500. I expect to see sellers coming in around this zone here. For now, I wouldn't try to short the euro against the US dollar. I think the euro is still a buy. But we are very close to our resistance now. So if we are so close to our resistance, it means we do not do anything. We stay out of this market. We don't trade. And we wait for the market to maybe first break above 1.1800. Once we've broken above that, we now start looking for shorting opportunities. Any close below this point, maybe on a daily or hourly closing basis below the simple moving average and below the horizontal line around 1.8100, we can expect the price to come down to 1.16. For now, I wouldn't go in and take a short. I'll just sit on the sidelines, sit on my hands, wait for the market to tell me exactly what is going to do next. Last week we tried getting closer to this line. It was 1.17906. We got very close to that line, and this morning again. Sorry, I'm updating there. The market, I think, is trying very hard to get close to this line. So before we get to 1.1800, I'm not going to do anything because I mean, if you check your simple moving average on the weekly time frame, we closed above the weekly simple moving average last week, but I cannot really use this as a buy, as a buying opportunity because look at your simple moving average. Your simple moving average is pointing down. It is not really flattening out. You want your moving average to flatten out. To, to flatten out, it's not. It's still pointing down. So there's a good chance that buyers of the US dollar are going to come in and push the price down here. So for that reason, I wouldn't really go in and take a long on the euro at these levels. I'll wait for the market to show me what it's going to do next. We are below the simple moving average on the monthly time frame, although when the market came down towards 1.1600, there was a lot of buying interest there to push the price up, but I wouldn't buy this one. I would wait for 1.1800 before I do anything. Yeah, I hope so too, Richard. I hope he's going to say something that's going to trigger maybe a short on the euro. But I expect the market to be very volatile around that time because I mean, the last time this guy spoke, the market was expecting them to tell us exactly when they were going to start. I mean, they start cutting down on their quantitative easing or on their on their uh, bond buying spree. When were they going to stop? I think they mentioned the last quarter of the year or something like that. Maybe this time he's going to be able to give investors hope by spelling out exactly when they plan on doing this one. So I think that's the main thing that the market is asking right now. If they can get to that answer, I think the market is going to be very excited with Mr. Draghi. Okay, let's have a look at SAP. Okay, SAP, sure. I think I like SAP. SAP looks good, and it's one of those companies that thrive when the rand weakens. They thrive when the rand weakens. So I think you're going to do well going forward on this one. SAP, I like SAP. Okay, let's do the 6 months. 6 months we closed here. 6 months we closed. First 6 months we closed there. Uh, on the weekly time frame, I think we are looking good on SAP. I think anything between 90 and 92 on, in fact, 92 and 90 and 94. In my view, SAP is a buy. Anywhere between 90 bucks and 94 rands or 92.82. SAP is a buy. I think that it has a good chance of running up towards these levels here. Running up towards these levels here, I'm looking at 103. If we break out of 94, we get a breakout above 94. I'm looking at SAP rising to 103. I think 103 is the level that we should expect when we finally get that break above 94 or 93.82 there. For now, I think we're just stuck here in the zone. After that, I think we just need a daily close above 93.82 and a nice follow through. From there, we're going to see the stock railing towards that 103 I've just mentioned. We are above the simple moving average here. We are above our support levels, that is 90 and 92 here. So anywhere around this area here, I wouldn't really mind going in and taking some longs on SAP or say SAP. All I need is a break above 93.82 or 94. Once we've gotten that close above there, then this market is going to rally to that 103. So this is a good one. It's a rand hedge as well. If you do it and the rand starts weakening, like we are expecting, I think you are going to make a lot of money on this one over the next week or so. You know, Lindy, you cannot just stick to one time frame. You must look at different time frames to get, different confirmations. Like if you are looking maybe at your monthly time frame to see how the stock is looking or how it's performing. Like if you go to the monthly time frame, the monthly time frame is was positive at the end of June. We closed above the 10 simple moving average on the monthly, and the market is continuing to rise. It's just consolidating here for now. From here, I think the market will go up to that 103 that I've just mentioned. On the monthly, it's looking okay. If you check the weekly, time frame, the weekly time frame is also looking good. We are trading above our simple moving average, and to go in and take the actual trade, we need to use the daily time frame. The daily time frame right now is still contained between or below 93.82 or 94 there. Any break above that area, I think we're going to see the stock breaking out going to 103. Another thing is that we are trading above the simple moving average on the daily. Like I said, even at current levels, I wouldn't mind going in, taking a long on this one and keeping my stop maybe below 89 or maybe 89.15, 89.10, keeping my stop there, expecting this stock to rise and get to that 103. SAP is a good stock. I like it. I think it's going to rise going forward. Anywhere between 90 and 93.82, in my view, it's a buy up to 103. Okay, guys, does anyone have a question? If you have some questions, please ask. Muhale, I think you're joining us for the first time. I've never seen your name before. Do you understand what we are doing? Do you want me to give you a bit of a background? Explain a bit to you how we make these decisions? Ernest, I see you are there as well. Do you have any specific questions that you'd like to ask with regards maybe to the trades that you've done before? If you do, please ask. Oh, so far so good. Okay, perfect. Okay, if no question, can we have a look at IMP? Okay, it's fine. Let's have a look at IMP. I haven't checked IMP in a very long time. Okay, I've got some levels there worked out. Okay, there's a little bit of support right now around 21, and we have some overhead resistance at 22.06. Okay, let's check how we closed. End of June. Let us remove all these. End of June, okay. Okay. End of June, we closed around 2022, 2022, and first week of trading in July, we closed above our simple moving average, and we closed above our 33 level there. So this market is looking, I mean, Implats is looking a little bit positive in the short term. I think I think we may see 23 from the current levels. I think from the current levels, our next resistance at 23. Next resistance at 23. Okay, check 23. Next resistance at 23. From 23, I'm looking at 25. From 23, I'm looking at 25 as another layer of resistance. But I mean, we haven't hit 25 in how many months? Since March. We haven't hit 25. We haven't touched it since March, so I don't know if we are really going to be able to touch that area there. But this one, if you look at it overall, it's not looking positive. It could be basing there at the bottom, but who knows? Maybe we're still going to see this maybe weakening further, coming back down to 1850 levels. But I would like to see it maybe bouncing up to 23, 24 first, before expecting another, another shot towards 18, 17. There's a good chance that we could still see this going down and closing maybe the month of July or August below 20. If we get any monthly close below 20 or 2033, that we can expect to see the stock really coming off, trading below 18 bucks. So I don't like it. I wouldn't try to take some longs on this one. It's a high risk trade. If you want to get involved, on this one, it's a high risk trade. I wouldn't do it. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Mahale. I understand what you're saying. It's your first one, so you don't be too hard on yourself. It's not going to be very easy for you to see this, but today I will try and post maybe 3 of these videos that we've done. You can have a look at them maybe when you're doing your own studies, so that you can understand maybe how we do this. Yeah, just using the simple moving averages basically to see sorry, to see whether the market is rising or declining. We are using that together with our support and resistance, and the trend lines. We use the trend lines also. The trend lines are very important in your trading, so you'll get to understand it as we move along. You'll get to understand it as we move along. Let me see if I have anything interesting. Okay. The stocks I looked at this morning. Let me get those so that we can share. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at MND. I think Mondi is likely to rise going forward. looking at the setup that we have on it on a technical basis, I think it's going to rise. End of June, we closed at 371, and after that, the market did not give us a follow through. We haven't gotten any follow through yet, so that 371.72 area still stands as our main resistance, and our support on this one is at 339, 340. Those are the two levels that we are watching here. Let's check the daily time, sorry, the weekly time frame. Okay. Let me refresh. It's important to refresh every time you move on to a different time frame. First week of trading in July was negative. The market was down 3.14%, and today we are up or flat. I mean, a positive 50 basis points, or point. Well, I mean, half a percent. We are half a percent up. The market is still sitting below 371.72. So we're waiting for the close above 371.72. If we can get a close above 371.72, there's a good chance that we're going to see a follow through happening on this one. But you see, if you go back to October 2017, we had a close on the weekly time frame above that 372 area, but sellers came in and pushed the price down. So it's important that when you get that close, you get the follow through as well. You have to see maybe another week or a couple of days of a rise above that area. But in my view, I think that we are definitely going to do well on this one. We are going to move higher because I mean it's a rand hedge. Another thing I was looking at, we had a nice close above 361. We had a nice close above 361. So that close, in my view, suggests that this market should just bounce off this area and move higher. So I think we have a good chance of bouncing on this one. You see what happened this week? Okay, sorry, this month. This is a monthly chart. This month we haven't really violated that 361, 362 area that much. So there is a little bit of hope here that this market could be bouncing between 370, 172 and 362 for the next couple of days. After that, we're going to get a breakout to the upside. Another stock I looked at this morning. Let's check here. Sure. It's ARI. It's ARI. Okay. You remember we said ARL last week. We said ARL was a buy, I think around 300, 303, and now starting to rise. I think that is still a buy. It's going to move much higher. I'm looking for ARI. Well, I mean, ARI, I'm looking at ARI. The only issue we have with ARI is 120, 119 area. If we get any close above 119, 120, ARI is likely to go up to 135. I think ARI is likely to go to 135. Is likely to go up to 135. There's another stock that you should keep an eye out for. I mean ARI. I think it's likely to move up. You must check it out. June we closed. Let me check when we closed in June for the first 6 months of the year. First 6 months of the year we closed 109.10, and we are trading well above 109.10. It looks like we are having a nice bounce. The market is going to try and attempt going up to that 135 area, or 134.55. Let's just call it 135. So there's a good chance that we're going to see this one rising also. Another one I looked at is Barloworld. Barloworld looks negative to me. I think Barloworld is going to. I think Barloworld is going to give us a nice decline. I'm looking at maybe shorting Barloworld around 129, between 129 and 132, anywhere there. As soon as we get our our price below our simple moving average, I think we should just go in and take a short there if it does move up there. Otherwise, if it fails to close below the simple, so above the simple moving average here, I think more sellers are going to come in maybe in the next couple of days. Like if you look at it now, it got very close to our simple moving average here, and it left this a nice tail behind, and it started coming off. So I think we're going to get more sell off on this one going forward. I'm looking here. I think people are going to short this one. Another one that's looking positive today, it's BVT. I think BVT, in my view, is a short. I'm looking at 197, 181 because I'm trying to be conservative. I don't want to be very aggressive on it, but I believe that BVT is going to decline. End of June, we closed at 197.01, and our support is at our support is at 180, 181. So I think between 197 and 181, 180, BVT is a short. We can expect to see buyers coming back in around 180, 182 on BVT. Around those levels, I think we're going to get buyers coming in and buying BVT. But I mean, there are no guarantees in the market, guys, as you know. It's the beginning of the week. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. Maybe we can use this first day of the week to just monitor and see what the tone this market sets for us going forward, so that we can maybe position ourselves to benefit out of this market rising, perhaps, because it looks like it's on a positive run for now. Guys, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? If you don't have any questions, we can end our session here, except for Muhale. Muhale can remain behind. I just want to show him one or two things. There are two SMAs. Please explain both of them when to use them. Lawrence, what do you mean that there are two SMAs? Are you talking about the exponential moving average and a simple moving average? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, if you look at indicators, let me look at indicators, but we have more than two SMAs. Okay, let's go to moving averages. We have exponential moving average, we have a comma moving average, we have LWMA moving average. All these are moving averages. Regression line, it's also moving average. I just choose to use the simple moving average because I mean the simple moving average is very easy for me. Exponential moving average is also very sensitive to the changes in price. You can use that one. So I just use those basically. The other moving averages don't really matter. The main thing for you here, Lawrence, is to understand maybe how one strategy works. Once you understand how the strategy works, you can try and apply it. If you are happy with the results, you can carry on using it. If you are not happy with the results, then you can try a different strategy. But the first thing that you need to do when starting out in the market is to have just one strategy, because I mean, reading too many things when you are still starting out is going to confuse you even more. That is why I always try to limit my training to the simple moving strategy, sorry, the simple moving average, trend line, support, resistance, and that's it. You know, I always try to do that to make sure that you guys don't get confused. Because I mean, there's a lot that we can learn from these sessions. Okay, Mohale, let me see if you're still there. Okay, you're still there. Let me show you the basics that we look at. This line here is called the simple moving average, but let me use a different chart, and I will remove the simple moving average. I've removed the simple moving average. This is BAT, Break. Let me see. Okay, this is a candle. This is a candlestick. The bottom part where it starts, I'm talking about the shaded part where I have my cursor on, is the open, and the top or the upper shaded part, or where the shaded part ends, is your close. If you put your cursor on it at the top here, this blue bar here at the top, this blue bar at the top shows you your percentage change, your close, your low. It shows you everything. On this one, the date was the 21st of June 2018, and the close was 42.80. The open was 40.53, high 43.90, low 40.39. It was positive. It has a percentage change. Percentage change is here. Percentage change is 5.6%. It was a good day. It opened low and closed up. It opened low and closed up, so we had a higher close on the 21st of June 2016. That's how you read these bars. The negative bar, well, I mean, I've colored my negative bars red here, but there could be any color really. How do you see the negative bar or the negative daily close? The open is up and the close is lower. You have a higher open and a lower close, so that means that you have a negative day there. If you put your cursor on your bar, you will see at the top percentage change is going to be negative. Like on this one, it was on the 22nd of June. The close there was negative 1.15. The close was 42.20. The open was 42.69. High 43.54. Low 42. We had a negative close. That's how you read your bars. If you don't understand what I mean, I will go back and oh, you're using a mobile device. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, Mahale, I'm very sorry. Next time, please make sure that you either use your desktop or your laptop. If you are using a mobile device, you won't be able to see what I'm showing on my screen this side. Because I was demonstrating for your understanding. If you're only using a mobile device and you can only hear my voice, you won't be able to see what I'm demonstrating here. I think it's better that you use your laptop. Otherwise, you won't get anything out of this. You won't get anything. Guys, any questions? Pietro, Ernest, Richard? Because I was doing this for Mohale because he's new. He doesn't really know what we are doing. So I was trying to explain to him how we analyze our stocks when starting out. Okay, we'll have a look at the USD CAD, Mr. Mashallah. No, this is not looking good. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay. USD CAD is on a bullish trend. It's been rising since the beginning of March or end of Feb. It has been on a rise, so that's the main direction there. For the past few days, it has actually been declining. The US dollar has been declining, but it's still above the simple moving average. The daily time frame is below the simple moving average, so you cannot go in and buy this one yet. Cannot go in and buy this one. Let me do this. Okay, and as last week we closed below this rising trend line here on the US dollar CAD, and today if we get to close below 1.308, if we get to close below 1.308, there's a good chance that our next support is going to be, sorry, it's going to be around 1.3 or 1.3, sorry, 1.3 or 1.297. 1.297, 1.93. There's a good chance that we're going to see that happening, because I mean, if you check here, the simple moving average is above your price, so you're not really supposed to be buying this one because it's on a pullback. You want it to close above like this. You want it to close above your simple moving average before you attempt to buy the US dollar against the Canadian dollar. So I wouldn't buy this one. Let's check the weekly time, sorry, the hourly time frame. Just want to see how it looks. Hmm. Sure. We are below the simple moving average on the hourly. It's very clear we are below. We haven't crossed above the simple moving average here. If we get an hourly close above the simple moving average, and we close above 1.3, maybe we can see this price rising up maybe towards that 1.31. But at the moment, no, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Let me get the indicator here. RSI indicator. I can't see much from this one. Yeah, but Ernest, this one is definitely not a buy. No, it's definitely not a buy for now. We should just wait for the market to decide exactly what it wants to do before we decide to go into this one. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's taking forever to update here. Why? Okay. Yeah, there could be a little bit more downside here on the US dollar, sorry, on the US dollar CAD. But I mean, let's wait for the end of business. The important level to mark there, NS is 1.308. 1.308. If we close above 1.3008, there's a good chance that we could see maybe a bit of a bounce back to 131.31 before this market does anything. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to end the session, guys. I will meet with you again tomorrow if you don't have any more questions. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Cheers.